Hey everyone, welcome to week 4 of the 6 weeks of success, or 6 weeks to success. This week is all about that all-important trunk show time, and it's really so important. I mean, we always say parties solve everything, and it's so true, and the magic really happens at your parties. That's where you are in front of the most people at one time, so it's really important that you maximize your time at the party, and that you spend the time. It's time so well worth spent when you sit down and you practice your presentation, when you perfect that presentation, not perfect, but when you work on that. Now, we always say we love our systems here. We love our systems. We love our scripts. And I love the saying, people don't fail, their systems do. So it's really important, if your parties aren't getting the sales that you would like them to get, to take a look at your systems. Take a look at your, last week we talked about hostess coaching, look at your presentation, make sure your guests are having a blast and see the value in the home party. So these systems, what they do is they really take you from being a hobbyist to being a career person. They simplify your business and your life, and when your business and your life are simple, you're going to love your business more. You're going to love your life more. People are going to want to be around you. Think about the type of person that you want to go into business with. Well, guess what? You are your #1 business partner. So be the type of person you want to be around. Be the type of person you want to do business with, and really work on getting these systems dialed in and be consistent with them too, so that you can always refer to these systems when it's time to make improvements. Now, hostesses who are too busy to have a party, they just don't know the value of having a party. People make time for friends. I know my husband and I are taking our family up to Bakersfield, as is Diane this weekend, taking the whole weekend out for a soccer tournament. We made time for that because we see the value in it. Even a couple of hours of TV at the end of a day, you made time for that. You see the value in it. So when women see the value of your party, they're going to want to make time for your party. They're going to make it a priority. So trunk shows are parties, and they should feel like a party. It should be a fun time. So one of the most important parts of the home party is that it's fun. You want to have a fun party. You're going to see some pictures from retreat this week. We had a blast. This is us at Mas Malo, a restaurant out there. It was awesome. We had a great time. So anyways, fun is the #1 commodity in the 21st century. We all need to have a great time. If your party and your presentation are fun, hostesses are going to make hers a priority, and she's going to schedule a show. Women also, we spend more money when we're having fun, and she's also more likely to book her show. You always have to walk the line between giving them the information that they need and keeping it humorous and keeping it concise, which is why we recommend your first party or two being practice parties with close friends and family. You can always do these practice parties, by the way. We talked at retreat about giving yourself permission to start over. When you take that look at your systems and you decide to do a big change to them, feel free to contact your friends and say, hey, I just learned this great new system. I've really worked on my trunk show my party presentation, and I want to run it by you guys. Can you come and help me practice? You're going to get a lot more friends who are going to come and want to support you in practicing. Now, I always caution stylists to invite friends that are supportive and will give you constructive criticism. Yes, we want honesty. But I know some of my friends cannot help but being a negative Nelly. Like, they don't believe in direct sales, so they are going to tell me how awful this business is. They can't help it. That's just them. So surround yourself with positive people who give great criticism and will help you do better in your systems and will help you give a better presentation. So it's kind of an honor to be invited to a practice party, I think, because you're really putting your business future in their hands and you're asking for help. So part of having a fun party, too, is that you're able to use scripts and you're comfortable to use scripts. That always sounds kind of like an oxymoron, a script being liberating. It doesn't sound like those two go together. But they really help you. What they do, my scripts are always bullet points. And what that does, if I can just hit each of my bullet points that I've remembered, I never have those oh shoot moments where I walk away going, oh, I forgot to tell them about this. you're going to hit all those bullet points. And then, you know, you get there a little bit early at the party and you get to chat and talk to people, and then you can tweak your presentation to reach out to different women, make it more applicable and relevant to the members of your party, and you'll still hit those important bullet points. So it also gives you the opportunity, these scripts, to interact with your guests, which is so important, and get them to really actively participate while you lead the conversation with questions. Having this system, having scripts, it enables you to get all of your valuable information to your guests. I talked about a little bit last week, I like doing an on-time drawing because sometimes it's really, really distracting when stragglers come in. And doing that on-time drawing, it kind of sets that precedent of, okay, here we go, we're doing our on-time drawing and we're going to go ahead and get started. So it gives you permission to keep everyone kind of on point. Now, here's Mary at the party giving her her why story. She shared with us, she has an incredible why. We want parties to be educational. We love learning things, right? Especially when it comes to fashion. Fashion is fun to learn about. So help style your guests. A lot of times we learn a lot from our guests. Allison, that was in the picture before, put that cowl neck tunic on, I think it was like upside down and backwards, and it looked amazing. And I would have never thought to do that. So sometimes your guests will come out with stuff like that. So kind of keep things like that in your back pocket when they try on different clothes. Help them style their outfits. Google different fashion tips, stuff like that, how to make put scarves together, stuff like that. There's some really fun Google YouTube videos about how to wear a scarf. I know Cheney and I were in hysterics one day trying to style a scarf here in the home office, and I'm hopeless at it. But still, it was a lot of fun, and it's a fun thing to do at the party. And you're probably a lot better at it than I was. Now, talk about addressing what different body types mean. Sometimes, and you know, I'm not a big person, but there are pieces that I wear a large in, or I could wear an extra large in because I'm broad through my shoulders. It doesn't mean anything, and I'm really free with that with people. I'll let them know, hey, I go up a size in this because, you know, I'm broad through my shoulders or because I'm big through my thigh. That's my body type. It doesn't mean I'm big. It just means that's my body type. So there's a huge importance to me to teach women about body type and to differentiate between body type and size. Also, help her celebrate what she loves about her body. Give her permission to love where her body is that day. And that's one of the things about this company that I am so in love with. You know, there's other companies where you make more when people don't feel good about themselves, when they want to lose weight, when they want to disguise wrinkles or something. You will make more money when you feel great about yourself and when your guests feel great about themselves. Give her permission to celebrate what she loves about her body, and then help her disguise what she's not in love with. We have a lot of great problem-solving pieces, and the more you see it on different body types, the more you're going to be able to help your guest celebrate what she loves about herself. So that's really important. Now, even if you don't know yet, again, just get more women to try on the clothes and just say that, hey, can you help me out? I'd love to see what this looks like on you. You know, I'm learning about these new clothes. We just got this Melrose collection out. I'd love to see it on different bodies. So get the clothes on the bodies. Now, you can talk about what fabrics we use. Women love to hear about micromodal. Even those who don't know, and I found this out at a party one time, and it was so funny. When you say micromodal and one woman goes, oh, I love micromodal, 5 or 6 others will be like, ooh, micromodal. They don't know what micromodal is, but they love it because, you know, someone else said they did. And it is a yummy fabric. So once you start educating them about what the modal feels like, what the viscose feels like, what like the evolution of polyester. It's not the polyester we knew in the 70s. It is fantastic now. So teach them about the difference between a wet, like the Pima cotton feel, and then the dry, silky soft. There's a wet soft and a silky soft, or dry soft. Get the clothes in their hands, educate them about these kind of things, and they're going to have a lot more fun. You can also use fun adjectives that aren't typically applied to clothing. I talk about yummy fabrics or crave-worthy comfort wear. Tell them what to expect, too, in the beginning of your party. Let them know, you know, at my parties we always have a lot of fun. So Ladies, join me in the living room or whatever. Have your hostess help you get them in the living room. Let them know they're going to have a great time, and let them know that if they host a party with you, they will have a great time too. You want to keep, and I touched on this a little bit earlier, this is supposed to say, I meant to change the slide. I meant it to say, keep it applicable to your audience. I know in the 6 Weeks to Success, she talks about staying classy and considerate. I don't think I need to worry about that with you guys. I think you're all pretty classy, considerate ladies. So I am changing this to keep it applicable to your audience. And that's why I want you to get there early. Talk to women about their lives. Ask questions. We always talk about, wait, why am I talking? They need to be talking 80% of the time. So ask questions, find about their lives. Do they have kids? Do they run carpool? Do they work in the office? That kind of thing. And then you can tailor that presentation following your bullet points to reach out to them individually and engage them with questions. So you want to make sure, too, that you include everyone, even the quiet, shy gal in the corner. If you have someone that's a little bit chatty and kind of taking over a little bit, you can always take a step closer to her. I like to present standing up in the middle of the group. So if someone's a little chatty, a little bit out of control, take a couple steps toward her, and sometimes just stepping toward her or closer to her, she'll start behaving herself a little bit. It also works on 5-year-olds in kindergarten class or drunk middle-aged women at a party. So it's all the same, right? Now, so you're going to keep it applicable, and you're going to mind the time. Most TV shows are 30 minutes for a reason. So once you go over that, you've lost them. So they're here for a party. They don't really want to be lectured. So make sure, and one of the best parts about our business is this, that you can keep your presentation pretty quick. If you show the pieces individually, make sure you're really making a lot of eye contact. Use as many names as you can. Remember, if you have 50 women in a group, but you only remember 2 names, and I can look and say, Meredith, I know you said you work out of your home. How would it feel to feel like you're in jammies but really look great? So when you step out into the grocery store, to run an errand, you're going to look really put together and really fabulous. Or, Vanessa, how do you feel about, wearing a shift dress to your carpool line? It sounds weird, doesn't it? But how would it feel to be that great-looking lady in the carpool line who's always got it together? So really make sure you're engaging them. Like I said, if there's 50 people in the room, but I only remember Meredith and Vanessa, every person in the room, it's human nature. Hello. It's human nature that everybody in the room will think that not only do you know them, but they're going to think of you more as a friend. And remember, it's all about return on relationships. So encourage the friendships, encourage the personal contact. So questions, again, it's a great way to get people engaged. Make your audience feel important and smart. Ask people, how do you feel about U.S. manufacturing, keeping the garment industry, the U.S. garment industry viable? At our retreat, we talked to Ray, and who's one of our manufacturers and designers, and he told us that really the U.S. garment industry is in the hands of the consumer. So when you go to these parties, ask them how they feel about the U.S. garment industry being in their hands. How do you feel about supporting the U.S. garment industry? You're adding value to our clothing. You're empowering them to support U.S. business. So if you do have a wild one, because they're at every party, sometimes you have a heckler, grab something in her size and say, hey, oh my gosh, you're hilarious. I would love to see you try this on. Can you do that for me? And have her come back out and everyone can ooh and ah. But meanwhile, you can kind of keep her a little bit under control. I always like to take the wild ones and turn them into a model, give them a job. So display. Look out, I love that, give them a job. Anyways, keep your display neat and simple. Don't spend a ton of money on it. I always remember, you're bringing new team members on. You're training your team from the first touch. So the first time they walk in, when they're a complete stranger and they see a really neat streamlined display, they're going to start wondering if they can do this. If you have racks that are really nice but really expensive, and they say, hey, how much was that rack? Well, it cost me $85. Well, the racks that are in this picture cost $14. and it looks nice. So I always encourage people, keep your business simple, save room for profit. So brag up how doable this is. Brag up how inexpensive it was. You know, I like to include little straw hats. This was actually from, what collection was this, Meredith? Was this Ramblin' Rose? I think this was Ramblin' Rose. It was the first collection. And it was, yep, she just typed it in. Key lime, you got it. I remember. I still have that. Yeah, this was from Ramblin' Rose, and it was, it's all about the simplicity, which is one of the great parts about this business. I remember when I would go to, I'm sure a lot of you have had the same circumstance where you go to a, like a vendor fair or something, and people are setting up, and it's taking them forever to set up their little display, and I've got my racks popped together and take my clothes out of the garment bag and put them on the display, and boom, I'm done. And they look at me like, are you kidding me? You're done. Brag that up. There's nothing worse than being stressed. You're a little bit behind time. I'm sure some of you have been there, and you're scrambling to try to get your display together. Ours is so easy and simple and inexpensive, so make sure you let them know that. Now, you want to keep your ordering area neat too and organized. I always had an in a hurry box and an I can wait box, so that after the presentation I let them know, if you're in a hurry and you got to get going, here's my in a hurry box. I will get you signed out right away, because you never want an order to walk out the door. They usually don't happen. So have your in a hurry box, have an I can wait box, and then, you know, that way you can get the people that need to get out of there quickly. You can get them out of there quickly and on time. Also have a party folder to keep order forms in, and then in a little envelope or a little cash box for checks and cash. Now again, if you love a theme, great. I know we talked about some fun themes on Facebook. What was it? Flip-flops and flirtinis is a fun one. A flirtini, just, I don't know, Google a fun pink martini and call it a flirtini. Flip-flops are fun for a theme. You can have, like, you know, little awards, but make sure your theme doesn't take away from the clothing, because it's really all about the clothing. Fun thing about flip-flops, though, is so many of our clothing looks great with flip-flops. So, so that's, anyways, keep your themes easy and fun. Now, a huge part of your presentation is developing your personal story. You know, it was amazing at retreat to hear some of the personal stories. I know I said Mary was up there. Ellen and Jackie both spoke, and I know, speaking to a lot of you, you have amazing personal stories that you could share. And you want to kind of have a couple, again, to keep it applicable to the people in the room. I might not talk a ton about my kids if there's not a lot of mommies in the room, but if there's moms in the room, you know, maybe you can talk about how your kids help you put stuff together. Mary talked about at retreat how her kids were proud of her, what she did at Winnie and Kat, and when she won an award with Winnie and Kat, and they told her, Mom, I'm really proud of you, and what that meant to her. That's something you can share in your personal story. You want it to be something they can relate to, and you really want to focus on the feeling. So when you go to do your personal story, you know, the hostess is going to help you get people into the presentation area. The first thing you want to do is thank your hostess. They're all going to be sitting down. They're going to sit down, they're going to be fidgeting, they're going to be looking through order forms and stuff. No one's paying attention, so thank your hostess. And then what you can say, something to kind of rein them in and get them listening to you a little bit. Again, you want to spoil your hostess, because then you're spoiling their friend. How great is Janine for having us over to her house, and, you know, didn't she do a great job? Let's give her a round of applause to thank her. You know, you've gotten them listening to you. Then you can start your personal story. Now, the thing about your personal story and sharing a little bit about yourself, it's going to turn women from strangers to friends, and then eventually from customers to hostesses to stylists. It's all about bringing them deeper into your funnel. You want to be relatable and conversational, which comes through practice. And you really want to practice a lot, because a lot of times when you start your story, you might have a little bit of nerves and butterflies, and that's normal, and they're actually good. I love the butterflies. It really gets you to give a great presentation, so use those butterflies. But the personal story is something that you should know inside, upside, and outside down. So, or upside down, I should say. You know it so well that it gets you through the butterflies. You thank the hostess, you say your personal story, and that way you get out of those butterflies, and then you can be more confident. So personal story is really important. And talk about the feelings of your personal story. Don't just talk about, you know, I make money. Did you know I make money? You can talk about maybe you paid for your trip to retreat where you were surrounded by a bunch of, you know, amazing women who were so empowering. You can maybe talk about paying for your kids' soccer, or you know, I love getting my nails done. I pay to get my nails done now, and I love sitting in that chair, the little massage chair, and you know, they're massaging my hands, massaging my feet. I always spring for the spa pedicure, and you know, I just love the experience. So paint a picture for them of what Winnie and Kat does for you. Again, engage guests with eye contact, ask lots of questions. I'm so glad, Luis, thank you. He just turned on the air conditioning. It was really hot in here. Your personal story should gain your new friends' trust. You want to speak as though you're just sitting down for coffee, which just comes through practice. The more parties you have, the better you're going to get. You want to touch on several key aspects. Again, you're going to focus on the feelings, the friendships, how it feels to help other women, how it feels to get out of the house. Ellen talked about just getting out of the house, and Winnie and Kat giving her a social freedom. That a lot of times as moms, when you're not stuck, when you have the privilege of being home raising your children, you can feel a little out of it. You can feel a little, you know, out of the social scene. So it's a great way to get you back into the social scene and talk about how great that feels. A couple seasons ago, I bought my $450 leather moto jacket with my commission, and I wear that jacket all the time, and I love it, and I got to buy that, and it felt so great because it was this piece that I always wanted since I was a kid and always felt like I couldn't afford it. So talk about how great it is to stay home with your kids. I love having time to work out or take a hike. Again, these are our sliced bread stories we talk about, where you take a feature of the business and how it benefits you and you turn it into a story. And those sliced bread stories are great because you can talk, you know, going around town, just integrate them into your daily conversation. And then, of course, you're going to listen for, what are you going to listen for? If you're by your keyboard, see who can chime in first. Windows of opportunity, yeah, you got it. Green light questions, windows of opportunity questions, we have different names for them, but yeah, absolutely. You're going to listen for those questions. Oh, you don't really make money doing this, do you? Well, yeah, in fact, you know, our average party is $1,000, so our average independent stylist makes $250 a party. What would you do with $250 extra in your pocket every month? So listen for those. Now, another thing, remember to talk about the why of each opportunity. We talk about the wear it, share it, work it opportunities. Talk about the why of the wear it, share it, work it opportunities. Talk about how great it feels to, you just open your closet and you can mix and match with fewer clothes with a larger potential for outfits, or a larger amount of outfits, because we do sell basics and they're very comfortable. So with fewer clothing, I actually have more outfits that I have, you know, brought into my closet, and it's really simplified getting ready in the morning. So that's the buying, the wear it, sharing it, hosting a party. How great does it feel to be surrounded by your friends? Does someone, you know, do we ever get enough girl time? You know, so that's the why of that. And yeah, absolutely, Vanessa. She said sometimes we forget that even though they may walk in looking like $1 million, they may have lost their job yesterday, so treat everyone the same. You got it. Absolutely. So important. How many times have you judged and then they turn around and go, well, why didn't you ever ask me? We've had a few people like that, and it was a big lesson. So absolutely. And of course, the why of becoming a stylist. How does it feel to mentor women to build a business, to gain financial freedom? How does it feel to encourage women to love their bodies wherever they are in this crazy life journey? So talk about that kind of thing. You want to talk about what makes Winnie and Kat great without bad-mouthing another company. So there's our 3 ways to be involved. So yeah, talk about what makes us wonderful. I love to say something along the lines of, you know, Winnie and Kat offers a thoughtfully concise collection that's designed to mix and match beautifully, while it streamlines and simplifies your wardrobes. And it also offers women of all shapes, sizes, and economic backgrounds a stream of income without breaking the bank on samples. A lot of companies that sell clothing has a much broader variety of clothes, which means that you have to buy more samples. And our basics really have created a concise collection, and everything goes together. So, I mean, the outfits that you can put together are exponential, and every season we offer more basics that mix and match with the previous season. So it's a really easy, fun way to update your wardrobe and inject new life into your wardrobe all the time. So that's what makes Winnie and Kat special. Plus, I just think we're awesome, right? The culture of Winnie and Kat is not to be compared with anything else, I think, and that's you guys. You guys are what makes Winnie and Kat special, and of course Diane, what she's brought to the company. So again, don't take yourself seriously. You want to add humor, get them laughing and having fun. If you're a little on the shy side, let them do the work. Ask questions. People are really funny. So the more you can ask questions, the more you can lead the discussion, and it also gives you an opportunity to take the back seat. You always want to make it flow to your presentation, and that's just going to come with time. It's going to come with, with experience. The more parties you do, the more it's going to flow. When you're in your car driving around town, even with your kids in the back, kids love it. I used to do this with my kids. I just do my presentation like, Mom, that's a good one, or Mom, you screwed up on that. I mean, they're gnarly critics, my kids. So I always like doing that. And then they also saw Mommy's working, and they knew not only was I working, but I was working towards soccer or horseback riding lessons. So I liked getting my kids engaged. What's cool too, if you're nervous, if you need notes or something like that, you can brag about that. You can basically brag about any part of the company that you're working with. So you can say something like, you know what, ladies, if you told me a few months ago that I, the shyest woman here, would be speaking in front of a room full of women, I would have laughed. But you know what? My fabulous mentor, Debbie, assured me that it's perfectly fine to use notes. So I'm using my notes. Not only are you making it easier for yourself, but you just spoke to the shyest woman in the room who's wondering if she can do this and sees you using notes. So, yeah, brag it up. Talk about using notes. That's great. Your personal story should only last about 3 minutes max. As much as we love to talk about ourselves, I know I do, I find myself fascinating. As much as we love to talk about ourselves, they don't want to hear a big, long story. They don't want to hear it. So, at our first retreat, I know, Meredith, you were there. Grace Keohohu was there from the Direct Sales Women's Alliance, and she talked about a study that I think is hilarious. This woman got on a plane and knew she was going to be part of the study. A man sat down next to her. She had no idea what was going on, and all he did the whole time was ask her questions. I mean, where are you from? Did you grow up there? Just asked her question after question the whole flight. Never said a thing about himself. When she got off the plane, they said, what did you think of the gentleman next to you? She said, he was the most fascinating man I've ever met in my life. We love to be asked questions. We love to feel important. So keep your personal story quick. Make sure they get enough information about what Winnie and Kat does for you. Give them enough, but not too much. So that's, it's an important thing, and it can be easy. I know for me, it can be easy to get chatty. So work on keeping that presentation concise in your personal story. Now, if you haven't been doing this for a long time yet, don't worry about it. You are the only person in the room that were smart and savvy enough to recognize this amazing opportunity when you saw it, and you're a total rock star just for having acted on that intuition. Again, you're the one woman in the room who had the foresight to start on this incredible path with Winnie and Kat that we know is going to go huge soon. I mean, we're getting ready to explode. And you put yourself on the path to financial independence and taking control of your income. So recognize and feel in your heart of hearts that you're already ahead of the pack. Own that with every molecule of your body. And the more you can fall in love with this business model, the more it's going to show. And women don't join a company as much as they join you. So talk about how much you love this business. Talk about how much you love being around people and meeting new people and what this business has brought you. And you're going to find more and more women joining your company. So again, you're going to mention the 3 ways to get involved. We always say mention them 3 times, but really mention them 30 times. Slice bread stories are great for this. When you pick up a piece, now we have, the Blue Burst maxi, you can say, this is one of my hostess's favorite things to get for free. That's kind of a slice bread story with the hosting opportunity. It's not overt. You don't say, oh, you could get this for free for hosting. Or you can pull something out of the closet and say, you know what, I wore this last week 3 times, completely different ways, and you know, I paired it one day with a scarf, one day with a jacket, one day with a skirt, and talk about the versatility. So slice bread stories, again, are great. I love them. I'll have to post that training again. I did a quick little story. Now, the next thing, I know they're polarizing. People love games and people hate games. So I did like to do Ring Me Up. This is a fun one where when you bring everyone into the presentation room, tell them all grab your cell phone. And what they do, when you get into the presentation room, tell them your phone number. And say the first person to ring through gets a prize. It can be anything. It can be like a little sewing kit or something that you get, you know, the little Matchbox sewing kits you can get at the dollar store. The first person that comes through gets the little sewing kit, and then you say, while you have my number up, enter me as your Winnie and Cat stylist. Have them put your first name, like I would have them put my first name as Tiff Mulligan, my first and last name, and then my last name, I'm going to have them put Winnie and Cat. So whether they remember Tiff Mulligan or Winnie and Cat, my name's going to pop up. So Ring Me Up is a really fun one. I like doing the on-time drawing because, like I said, it's really hard when people are filtering in late, and it kind of gives you a jumping off point to get your presentation started. Stacking your hostess is fun. I did that on the YouTube video where you take your average party, which mine was $1,000 at the time, and they're going to get $170 in free pieces for that. So I would have my hostess sit down, or I'd ask for a volunteer, and I would start peeling clothes off from her wish list off of my rack, and I would just plop it in her lap. And, you know, oh, she loves this soft tie low tee. It's $44, but she's going to get it for free. She loved the tank that goes with it. It's, what is our tank, $36? She's going to get that for free. And I would just start plunking stuff on her lap. She's going to get this for half off because she can get 2 half-off items. And now it's really fun because if she has that perfect 10 party, she's going to get double hostess rewards. So you can start talking about who among you would like to have the next party. She'll get $50 and she'll get double hostess rewards if two of you book a party tonight. You can explain that, all the hostess rewards. Icebreaker chats are fun. Have everyone go around the room, say their name, their personal style, or their favorite piece of Winnie and Cat if they already have Winnie and Cat. Now the next two, I had these. I only used the Hawaiian Island game once. What I did, traffic, like there was an accident in front of me on the freeway, and so I was like 20 minutes late, which basically meant I was 10 minutes early. So as I was getting set up for the party, I gave this to my hostess to read, and then I gave everyone a piece of paper, and they did the Hawaiian Island game, and then they got a prize. It's nice to have these just because stuff happens. If someone's late, if there's an accident on the freeway and everyone's running late, you need a good staller that's fun, that gets people engaged and having a great time. It's a fun one, and people got really silly and giggly with it. So that was cool. And you know what's funny is I always booked parties, or I booked 2 parties off of this party that I did the Hawaiian Island game with. So it's a fun one. And Pass the Prize is another one. I kind of weeded through all the ones on the internet and found the 2 that I had liked. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Go to the internet. It's nice to have a time staller game or something kind of in your back pocket that you can pull out just in case. So let me know what you think. If you have games too that have worked in the past that you like, for whether it's an attention, like a stalling technique, or that'll keep their attention, something like that, let me know, because I always love to learn from you guys too. Now, the last thing, I need to come up with something different than homework, because homework doesn't sound fun. But you want to complete your trunk show presentation and practice it. Even if you've done it for a while, if you feel pretty comfortable, keep practicing it. You can always tweak it and change it a little bit to see if your results change at all. Go gardening for one day. Now for us, gardening is just increasing your marketing strategy, or widening your social circle. This can be going to the dentist's office. I know I talked in my 5 stylist tips. I like to go to the dentist's office or doctor's office with coloring books with little crayons attached to it, and then my stylist information. And it was always like a free take one kind of thing. Or you can do a fishbowl raffle at a local restaurant, something like that, just to increase your visibility in the community. Book 1 or more shows in the next 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. You can book more than 1 show. That's what I think. So go for, try to book 3 shows in the next 2 weeks. If you book 2, great, awesome. You're ahead of the game. And of course, check in with us at the home office. Let us know how your trunk shows are going and if there's anything we can do for you. So we're going to leave you with a quote. Derek Jeter, baseball star. I like this because he's talking about baseball, but it applies to us. And I think it's true of any business. You got to have fun, regardless of how you look at it. We're playing a game. For us, we're having parties. It's a business. It's our job. But I think you can do but I don't think you can do well unless you're having a good time. And I so agree with that. So make sure it's fun. Be the kind of person you want to do business with and that you would want to have in your house presenting a party. And the good news is the best thing you can do for your business is to have a great time and simplify and really work on your systems and dial in those systems so that you can always refer back to them when results aren't quite what you want. So thank you, ladies. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great Friday and a fantastic weekend. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.